ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it. Taking bad hits, taking bad shit.
Fairly thin legs, you know, fairly thin nalgas.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Marvel Select action figure review on the Thor Ragnarok's Gladiator Hulk. I gotta give a big thanks to Russ from New York. That's the second Russ from New York that I now know. Thank you so much for picking this up for me and giving it to me as a gift, brother. I did not expect that at all. If you want to check out his Instagram, link is in the description below. And if you're trying to pick up your Marvel Select figures, you can get them at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
This thing is looking really cool already, but you know, if you have a chance to go through multiples, pick out the figure with the best paint apps, I highly recommend you do that. But anyway, on the side it says Gladiator Hulk, then we get a nice image of Gladiator Hulk, and then on the back you can see some product shots, and then there's a read-up over here. If you want to read it, go ahead and pause it now. And then there's not much more on the side or at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's the Hulk out of the packaging, and I'm going to really try hard here not to gush throughout this whole review because I'm just going to say it flat out, I really love this thing. He doesn't even have his weapons attached to him or anything, and he looks that awesome. I think this is a spectacular piece. He does come with some interchangeable parts, which is great, so I do want to get a closer look at those, and then we'll get a closer look at the Hulk. So aside from the two head sculpts, these are all the accessories that come with a Gladiator Hulk. We get a pair of fisted hands, and then we get a pair of weapon holding hands, and then we have the two weapons over there. I love how the hands came out. I mean, we get all kinds of beautiful detail throughout on this figure, but jeez, I love how that looks. Very realistic. Kind of has a cast iron look to it a little bit. I really like it a lot. Great paint apps and texturing right there. And I like the wrap around the hands. So on the right side he has purple, and on the left side it is blue. And I didn't really notice that detail. I had to go back. I just picked up my Thor Ragnarok 4K version just yesterday, and yeah, I put my digital copy on the computer while I'm doing this review, and yeah, it is more of a blue color on the left side than it is on the right. A little bit of paint splotching right there, and you can see that the hinges are different. So for the weapon holding hands, you do get the roll of the dice motion, and you can see a bit of paint chipping. That is unfortunate. And then on the fisted hands, you get the up and down motion. And then looking at the weapons, I really like these weapons a lot. I do like how the Hasbro version has a little bit more paint on them, and you can see the size of the hammer is just about the same with the Marvel Legend, and the Legend is a 6-inch scale piece, and this is a 7-inch scale piece. So yeah, but you know, we don't have the whole bendy hammer thing going on with this, and this is all hollow right here. As you could hear, it's very hollow. We get some wash right there, so I would have liked a little bit more paint on it, but I'm not really bothered by it. I'm happy that it doesn't bend when Hulk holds it. There is a bit of wear right there on the handle. It is tricky getting him to hold this. You can see just by demonstrating, it's I could feel the bottom end of that hammer just going against each finger as I smush this right through here. So that is frustrating. I really wish that this would detach at the handle. That's what I was hoping for. I had tried removing this and it would just not come apart. So yeah, next time they have something like this, it would be nice to be able to unplug right here and then port it back in. Then here's looking at the axe. Again, nice details on the sculpt, but I wish there was a little bit more paint on it, but it's not too bad. A little bit of scuffage right there. I don't know how there's green on here. I just noticed that right now. But yeah, it's not too bad. A little pointy right there. It's a lot easier for his left hand to hold this. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, it's a little bit more loose in here than I'd like. And one gripe of mine is that the wrists are pretty loose when you put this onto the figure. Like, I will have a problem of this wanting to, you know, swivel a lot more than I really ask it to. So that could be a little frustrating, but it's not as bad as having the bendy hammer. That is the worst thing. So here's looking at the unhelmeted head sculpt, and I think it looks really good. I really appreciate Russ digging through and picking the one with the best paint apps. I appreciate it, brother. But looking at that sculpt, man, I just really love how this came out. We get touches of green in his hair, and I think this looks awesome. The left eye does look a little on the strange side to me with that pupil, but I'm really not that bothered by it, you know. I still think this looks awesome. I love how the eyebrows look, and I love the color variation going out through the flesh tone, so that is great. That is really cool. I'm very pleased with that. And then it popped off the head sculpt is a little bit tricky. You want to like reach your thumb underneath the chin and really, yeah, it's a pretty tight fit. And putting on the Gladiator head sculpt on there, yeah, it's a little tough, but man, oh, that looks great as well. I really dig that.
damn, I just really love how the helmet came out on this thing. I love that realistic metal look. We have some white paint on the helmet as well. I like how the eyes came out on this face sculpt a lot better. I mean, he's going to be on display with this head sculpt on anyway, so yeah, man, I'm very pleased with that. I love that brown wash that we're seeing over the silver. That is just gorgeous. And then the mohawk looks great. I mean, I guess it's not really a mohawk, it was a frill, right? Because it's not his hair, but I love that. All these lines are sculpted right here. Great paint apps. Very pleased with it. I told you I was going to try not to gush, but man, this is awesome. I really dig it a lot. Looking at the shoulder pad, we get that nice metallic blue mixed in there with some black underneath. Looks fantastic. Same thing right here. I'm loving how the armor came out on this. This is beautiful. I am so pleased. The wraps on the arms even have little lines textured in there. Looks great. Again, we get some very soft texturing right there for the skin too. You can see some veins sculpted in there. The straps and everything look great on this piece, man. Very pleased. One thing worth mentioning too is that you could see the hair sculpted on him. I think that is great. So they did sculpt out the hair on the figure. That looks really good. And I like how the white paint came out on this particular copy. I did see one where the white paint looked a little bit messy over here. So yeah, I'm glad that this version right here has a nice clean paint. I am not going to try to take the armor off on this at all. I'm just not going to go for it. But man, I really like how it came out. Nice leathery look, you know. Some very dark browns and lighter browns mixed in there. Some little silver bits. This is impressive. Again, nice skin texturing for the Hulk. Great muscle definition. Nice browns mixed over on top of the green. Very pleased with this. I really dig that a lot. That is awesome. Here's the skirt piece. Like I said, I'm just gushing with just how well this came out. I'm very, very pleased with this. I mean, really, an exceptional job from Diamond Select. I really love how this Hulk figure came out. I'm just repeating myself over and over again. That's the review. I love how this came out. And we get the Hulk toes. I mean, man, it doesn't stop, man. The Hulk toes. Yeah, those are beautiful. I do wish they kind of did paint the toenails a little bit. Not really. That's fine the way it is. But yeah, great looking chanclas, great looking Hulk toes on this guy. And then these like calf wraps right here look really good too. I like the little spikes that we're seeing right there. A little bit of a metallic look to them. That is great. And we get this nice fine purple paint right there for those stripes. Even the calves are sculpted out really well. I dig it, man. And he does have peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Now to show the articulation with the helmeted head sculpt on here, you can move the head back just a little bit or make him look up just the tiniest bit. Not very much at all, especially because this whole piece right there in the very back, but it will move down and you can get it looking side to side and you get some head tilting. And then to swap the heads again, you can get this head sculpt to look up, I guess just a tiny bit more so than the helmeted head sculpt, but not a whole lot more. He still has quite a bit of hair right there on the very back. He will look down side to side and head pivoting, and you get shoulders that move outward just that far on the left side. On the right side, just the same amount. You could rotate 360 on this shoulder. On this side, obviously not, because you get that shoulder pad. So on that side, it'll move forward. Just, well, actually, maybe you could work it out so that you could do a 360 with the arms sticking outward. Duh. Anyway, you get a bicep swivel, single joint. Oh, that's so stiff. A lot of the time, I find myself needing to use two hands to bend the joints. So yeah, you can see that the elbows will bend in, not quite 90 degrees. Then we already talked about the wrist articulation. He does have a diaphragm joint that turns side to side. You get diaphragm pivot. He will crunch forward, just one notch forward and not back at all. You get a waist swivel over here. And by the way, the figure is a bit hefty, or heavy anyway. And then hip joints move outward that far. We'll kick forward that much and not back much. And above the knee swivel right there. And then double jointed knees right there. And then you get the ankle that moves down. And it does move up. And he does have great ankle pivot. Now before measuring out this figure, I wanted to show how loose that wrist could be. I mean, look how easy that moves. So that can be frustrating. But anyway, measuring out the figure to the very top of that frill right there, it's at about 10.5 inches tall to the top of his head, closer to about, I don't know, 9.5 inches. Then for your Marvel Select Hulk comparison, we have the Avengers Age of Ultron Hulk next to the Thor Ragnarok Ragnarok Gladiator Hulk, and you can see that the Age of Ultron Hulk is a bit taller. I mean, even without this and everything, you can see that the top of his shoulders and everything go a little bit higher. I did try to get the legs the same width apart from each other, and it doesn't bother me too much. I still think this is a pretty big figure. Then we have our Thor Ragnarok Gladiator Hulk next to the comic version, which is the Planet Hulk from Diamond Select Toys, and you can see the similarities over here. You know, definitely a lot of differences too. And then for your Gladiator Hulk comparison, we have the Marvel Select Gladiator Hulk next to the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Gladiator Hulk. Now, no, between these two, which one do you like more? I'm leaning a bit more towards the Marvel Select. And I'm curious to know if you guys would like to see me do a comparison video of these two figures. I don't know, that'd be a fun comparison video. And I can't help but be curious to see if this Marvel Legends Hulk can hold the Marvel Select hammer. And he doesn't really hold it that well. I mean, it's loose in his hand. Just see, yeah, it just flies right out. So, yeah, the grip on the right hand of this Marvel Legends Hulk doesn't really work too well for this Marvel Select hammer. But I do think it fits into scale, so you can still make it work for some photography. And then here's the Marvel Select Gladiator Hulk next to the Marvel Legends Thor figure from Thor Ragnarok, and I think these scale perfectly together. At first, I thought this Hulk was way too big for the Thor figure, but I put the movie on, and yeah, I saw several clips, and this is really a good height difference between these two characters. This scales out perfectly in my opinion, especially in that one scene. You know, you could see like Thor standing straight up and down, and his face is around the center of his back right there. And then there's that other part when Thor punches the hell out of him and his knees slightly bent like that. Yeah, that scales out very nicely. I wonder how tall the Marvel Select Thor is going to be from Thor Ragnarok. I hope that scales well with this figure too. And then here's the Marvel Select Gladiator Hulk to an average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Letdown Spider-Man. Who gave you weapons? Why on earth do you need weapons and armor? You're destructive enough as it is. I mean, what the... I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the figure in the review, and subscribe if you have not already, as well as hitting that notification bell to ensure that my videos pop up in your feed. I really like this figure a lot, and I do think it does have some flaws. I did find some things here and there, but as you can see, I mean, my biggest gripe is that ultra swivelly right wrist, but I'm still able to have him holding his hammer just fine without that falling over, so that actually still works out. Swapping the heads is a bit stiff, and there's, you know, tiny little paint splotches here and there, and the figure is heavy. He is a hefty figure, so very tricky to get on a flight stand. I have not even tried doing that yet. I don't think I have a flight stand that could even support the weight. But with all of that being said, I still think this figure deserves a SUD rating of I love it. And I want to know what you think, so once again, please leave a comment down below. I have to thank Russ once again for hooking me up with this figure. I did not see that coming, and I did not expect to love this figure as much as I do. So thanks again, Russ. Check out his Instagram, link in the description below. If you want to see a photo gallery of images, it'll be over at ShartimusPrime.net, and I still have t-shirts available at ShartimusPrime.net. However, I am sold out of the extra larges. And if you want to follow me on the social media, check me out on the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Link to everything in the description below. I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
I'm gonna play with my toys today. Well, I don't care what my people say. I'm gonna play with my toys today. Can't have one, I gotta get them all. Time to make a trip to the local mall. Oh yeah!
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face.